Hey everybody, today we were out here checking out the Wallke X3 Pro. This is a full suspension, folding, fat tire e-bike, and it's right over here. The X3 Pro has this cool mountain bike style about it. Definitely going to be used for off-road, maybe some urban areas, but you're going to want to check with the configuration of your bike and local laws and regulations and make sure you're adhering to those. Currently, Wallke ships straight to consumer. They don't have any dealers. They have a warehouse in California, and they offer a 1-year comprehensive warranty. You can check out their website to see, what that covers, what that doesn't. It currently comes in one size. It's this 26-inch frame, and it fits riders anywhere from 5 foot 4 inches to 6 foot 5 inches, up to 300 pounds total weight, and currently comes in 3 colors. They have green, gray, and black, and this is the black one right here. Comes about 80% assembled, has pedal assist, thumb throttle, and a walk mode to it. Powerful 750 watt motor, and some configurations can reach exceptionally high speeds. So like I said, make sure to check with your local laws and regulations and make sure your bike's going to be configured for you. Gets anywhere between 35 to 50 miles per charge. So on the frame here, we've got an aluminum alloy frame. The whole bike weighs about 63.5 pounds and has an overall length of 74 inches. Very forward seating position on this one. So if you've got knee problems or back problems, this might not be the angle you'd be wanting to ride at. So maybe you'd look at something like a step through, something that has more of an upright, comfortable position. We have a saddle height of anywhere between 28 inches to 39 inches. And we have this mountable seat tube light here on the back. This is an extra, ships with the bike. I threw it on there, I thought it looked pretty cool. So popping back up here, we'll see we have a 19-inch reach and a 33-inch standover height. So this is definitely not a step through, but it does have a pretty good slope here. So going back to the saddle, we've got this Selly Royal look-in. This thing is gel filled and actually fairly comfortable. And speaking of comfort, we've got these CST 26-inch by 4-inch tires. Having those 4-inch tires is always going to add to the comfort of a ride. You can put them anywhere between 5 to 30 psi depending on the terrain. So if you were in the sand or something like that, maybe you'd want to go closer to 5. And then if you were on some hard packed trails or cement, you might want to have it closer to that 30 psi. And having these big 26-inch tires gives us a really good attack angle for going over sticks, bumps, cracks, things like that. Heading up here, we have the rear suspension, and this one is rated for about 750 pounds, I believe, and comes with 20 millimeters of deformation. And we'll head to the front, and we have the Partner 26-inch front fork up here. This thing is adjustable. It's got some quick adjustment knobs here, which is really cool to see. Comes with 100 millimeters of travel. So having that full suspension system coupled with these huge tires really adds to some extra comfort of this ride. Now with this dual shock system, because they're adjustable, before you hit the trails, you're going to want to watch a video or two and make sure these things are going to be set up correctly for your weight, for your terrain, so you can take advantage of that full suspension system. All right, we head over here. We've got the ergonomic rubber double locking grips. Especially for places that we're going to be riding this bike, having this double locking feature is awesome, because if we were out there on the mountains or the trails and one of these grips were to fly off, that could cause an accident, and that would not be awesome. So very cool to see the double locking on this. And most of the action actually takes place over here on the left side. We've got the thumb throttle and we've got the keypad. The keypad is a 5-button keypad, very tactile. All of the buttons, they show you really well what each one of these buttons does, and so that is cool. And these connect over here to the key display. This is a 4.3-inch full color LCD, and let's turn it on. So the display shows us a couple things. It will tell us our speed, current assist level, which can be anywhere from 0, 1, 2, or 3. It's going to tell us our battery level, anywhere from 1 to 100%. It's going to show us trip distance, total distance, time, our average speed, max speed, watts, and if the lights are engaged or not. And we head over here. This is kind of an addition to the bike. This is a rechargeable phone holder and charger. So you can charge this thing up and use it if you're out there on the trails to, recharge your phone. It'll store a little bit of juice in there. So cool feature to see. We'll have to test out the grip ability of this thing, make sure it holds on to our phones, especially if we're going to be, again, riding this in some of those rougher terrains. We do have a USB charging port on the side of the display here. That is cool. I tested that out. Seemed to charge my phone just fine. And pulling out here, we'll see we've got some Tektro dual disc brakes. Both of these discs measure at 150 millimeters. Very responsive handles. You know, you'd expect that. And over here we've got the Shimano Acera SL M310 rapid fire shifter. This one is the 8-speed. Plenty of room for my hands on this side to get around and mess with the controls, basically do all the things I need to do. I didn't feel like there was any button I couldn't reach or any thing I couldn't grab. So that is a cool design there. And we'll head on back here. We've got the Shimano Altus derailleur. And having this derailleur guard right here, super nice. Again, especially if we're going to be out here riding the trails, we don't want something getting in there, a stick or a stump, something like that, smashing this this derailleur here. And then here in the back, we've got that 150 millimeter disc brake. And right here, we got the star of the show. That's that powerful 750 watt brushless motor. This thing produces about 62 Newton meters and comes with WPOS technology. And basically what the WPOS technology does is if you are going downhill or you are coasting, it captures some of that energy and is able to store it in the battery as electrical energy. And that's the simplified version. There's a long scientific explanation of how it works, but basically coast down hills, longer rides, thumbs up. So this particular brand is actually the Shengyi motor, but I'm told by Wallke that all the new models shipping after July are actually going to have an AKM motor in it. And then we head over here, we've got the Pioneer Pro Wheel cranks. These ones measure at 170 millimeters in length, and we have these Wellgo folding pedals. A little hard to do with one hand, but they do fold, I promise. Not too much of a chain guard. You know, especially considering where we're going to be riding this, trails, mountains, places like that. It would be nice to have something to protect against sticks or rocks, you know, things of that nature. Maybe that's something that we can see in a future model, or maybe that's something that you can go out and purchase for yourself. And so this is a folding bike. We got the latches right here, pretty streamlined. I haven't had any issues running into those while I was pedaling or anything like that. They seem to unlatch easily and latch pretty easily. So let's go snag the keys and check this battery out. All right, snag the keys. Now let's take this battery out. So this might be a little difficult to do with one hand, but we are going to give it a try. So we're gonna open this latch up here, hold the bike back. Again, it's a little bit heavier, so if you were not feeling it, you might be able to prop this up against something. That might be a little bit safer to do. So got this little carrying handle right here. Pop that out, and then the battery should just slide right out. There we go. Doing this with one hand. All right, there we go. So this battery weighs about 6.5 pounds. Pretty nice metallic construction here. It is 48 volts and 14 amp hours on this one, 672 watt hours. Pretty nice. Now you can charge it in the bike or outside the bike. It takes about 6 hours for a full charge. It gets you anywhere between 35 to 50 miles per charge. And this is the charger on this side. It's pretty basic, 54.6 volts, 2 amps, you know, pretty standard connection on this side. We don't have any USB ports or anything like that on the battery, as we see with some other models, but we do have that on the display. So now that we're charged up and we know what the bike is about, let's see if we can head out to the trails and see what it can do. All right, guys, before we hit the ride test, I just want to show you what the bike looks like folded up. It's got a pretty good profile here. We've obviously eliminated a lot of that length. So if you had a smaller spot, say a garage or an apartment, you could fold it up like this and save yourself quite a bit of space. The cool thing about this setup is that there's only 2 things that are touching the ground. So it's going to be these tires right here and the kickstand down there on the ground. And obviously we got the folding pedals right here. I wasn't lying about that. So let's put this thing together and head out for the ride test. All right, we're gonna go ahead and turn it on. Let's get rolling. One thing I like about this bike is we are able to use the throttle right from the no start there, which is super nice. There are some bikes that won't allow you to do that, but you see we went from a standstill to moving around real quickly, and that is cool. Starting the adventure as soon as you can. Some climbing obstacles here. Handles it like a champ. So we're just cruising around on pedal assist level 1. This is probably one of the most buttery smooth pedal assists I've ever been on. Almost can't even tell when it's working, except for the fact that all of a sudden I feel like Lance Armstrong. Go ahead into pedal assist level 2. And pedal assist level 3. Right now we're just using the throttle, cruising around pedal assist level 1. Just super fun, especially we got these big 26 by 4-inch tires. Really adding a lot of cushion to the ride, where you can see all those bumps we're hitting, and I'm not really feeling too much of it on this side. Just cruising. Got a little hill here. We're going down the downside. It's really fun to hit these open spaces and just let the bike go. Do a little brake test here. Pretty much stopping on a dime. That is sweet. All right, so we're going to go ahead and demonstrate the walk mode on this one. So for the walk mode, you're just going to hold down this minus button here. And the nice thing about this one, kind of a safety feature that I really like, is that as soon as you depress or take your thumb off of this button, it's going to stop, right? Some of them you have to hold it down again for an additional 2 to 3 seconds before it cuts off. This one I feel is a little bit safer, a little bit more in my control. So go ahead and test it out. Nice, easy pace, not too quick, just a comfortable walk. And then again, as soon as we let off, so does the motor. One of the other things that's nice about these big tires is going over these ruts and sticks and logs in some cases. Just really doesn't seem like anything to this bike. You know, we've got that full suspension system and those big tires. I feel like we can pretty much take on anything with that setup there. Like a champ. You know, with some of these trails, you really can't even see what's below you. And if I had something with smaller tires, I probably would be, you know, somewhat concerned about that. But with these big tires, I'm not worried about hitting anything, making these nice sharp turns. Bike is handling itself very nicely. Got some ramps over here. Feel like a professional BMXer now. Didn't get any air, but it handled itself real nice there. All right, so we're gonna start off in pedal assist level 1. Use that throttle to get us off to a nice little start. And again, just buttery smooth on the pedal assist here. All right, we'll kick it to pedal assist level 2. Motor's giving us a little bit more there. And pedal assist level 3. All right, so we got the pedal assist turned off and we're just gonna go through the crankset over here. It is an 8-speed, so let's just get up and test all those out. Shifts really nicely. That derailleur back there is doing exactly what I needed to do. And even though this is a bit of a heavier bike, honestly, it's not that bad to pedal. I know it sounds like I'm a little out of breath, but that's on me, that's not on the bike. So as some of you guys may have been able to tell, we were getting this clacking noise during the ride test portion of the review. We investigated a little bit further and found out it was actually the battery that was wiggling around in the down tube. So we contacted Wallke, we asked them if they've heard about this, if they had any fixes or suggestions, and it turns out that some of the frames were actually made about 2 millimeters larger than their specifications. So they were able to get down to the production floor and change that for future models of the bike. So we shouldn't have that issue anymore on this particular model. However, if you already own the bike and you're experiencing that clacking noise and you're not quite sure what it is, it's probably the battery. And today we're going to go over a fix for that. So we're going to need some electrical tape and some thicker tape and some scissors and of course the battery. And basically what we're trying to do with this tape is give us that extra 2 to 3 millimeters that we're looking for to get that battery nice and snug up in that top tube there. I don't know if you can tell from the video, but that is too much tape. I had to take off 3 or 4 layers of that to find that right fit for me. All right, so now that we got that tape on there, let's go ahead and test it out and see if that actually relieves some of that clacking that we're hearing. Yeah, I would say that that definitely works. Relieved a lot of that. I think the only thing that I'm hearing now is just those front forks, and definitely looks like we got rid of a lot of that battery rattle. We've talked to Wallke, and it looks like they were going to be making some adjustments. So that is cool to see when we're doing a review and we find something that's maybe a little bit off, that they're actually listening to us and they're going to go in there and make some changes. All right, guys, that is going to be it for the Wallke X3 Pro. If you want to know more, you can check out Wallke's website. I'll link down to that below. And if there's any specifications or details that we didn't cover in either the overview or the test ride portion, there's going to be a list of those down there as well. All right, guys, we'll see you on the next one.